Three brothers lived in a village. Their names were Fred, Simon, and Peter. Those three brothers came far away from home to Egypt as laborers. All three brothers were persevering and kind. One day, the brothers were returning from their work, tired, and as their luck would have it. As the time went on, it was getting dark. Cool breeze was blowing. Soon the forest hummed with the sounds from the fowls and animals. After walking for some distance, Peter made a tired face and said,
I am really exhausted today. I really wish I had hid some hidden treasure. Can you imagine how luxurious life I could lead?
Peter side-eyed at both of his brothers and said,
Oh Lord, I'm stuck with these losers for life.
Just then, he notices something shimmering by the roadside. On seeing that, Peter exclaims,
Oh dear Lord, you are so merciful. Brothers, look, that is the hidden treasure. Let's go.
Both the brothers run behind Peter, and when they reach the place, they see something that blows their mind.
Oh no, false alarm. But we should not lose our hope. The Lord will definitely answer our prayers. This is just a jar filled with fireflies.
Seeing that jar lit with fireflies, Peter said to his brothers,
Let's go home. Maybe today is not our lucky day. But aren't these flies the cutest? Come on, let's go.
Just as Peter ran away, two brothers chased him down the hill. As they reached their home, they freshened up and finally sat for their supper. They realized there wasn't enough food. Fred, being the eldest, gave the last two bread to each of his brothers. He went back to his bed, empty stomach, but he couldn't sleep at all. He kept staring outside with his tired eyes and he thought,
Oh, how I really wish we did hit a jackpot like Peter said. Then we don't have to sleep in our empty stomachs.
He saw something shimmering outside. It was the jar of fireflies. He goes outside and opens the cork. And he thought,
It is such a shame to trap such fireflies in a jar. They are meant to be free, not to be brutally caged. I should get going. I have a lot of work to do in the morning.
Just as Fred was going back, a blinding light appeared right behind him. As he was trying to turn around and look at its source, suddenly the blinding light turned into a beautiful fairy. The fairy bestowed a gift to Fred for releasing her from the jar. Fred, this is a tribute for releasing me from that jar. I'm really thankful to you from the bottom of my heart. You three brothers are indeed kind, honest, and diligent. Use my gift judiciously whenever you need it. And just like that, the light vanishes in thin air and something drops to the ground. It was a wooden ball. Fred casts a spell just as the fairy directed. Something magical happens. The wooden ball turns into a table. It was loaded with all kind of food he could have ever imagined. He was elated. He finally ate to his fill. He hid the ball under his pillow and finally Fred could sleep peacefully. But oh no! Two thieves broke into his house. They stole every hard-earned penny they could lay their hands on and ran away. Next morning, when soft sunlight brushes against Fred's face, just then he woke up. And as he looks around his house, he finds that their house was plundered clean. Fred wakes Simon up in a frenzy.
Simon, wake up. Wake up quickly. Just look around. See what has happened.
On one hand, Fred and Simon were horrified and thought, what are we going to do now? On the other hand, Peter was snoring away in a deep sleep.
Peter, wake up. We are doomed. These thieves took away everything. How can you sleep so peacefully?
Now, the three brothers felt that they were out of their options, so they had to return to their village. They went back to work and informed their respective masters about the theft and bid them goodbye before leaving for their village. Simon worked in a mill. When he said everything to his master, then his master said to him,
You are dedicated and scrupulous young man. Just wait for me till I am back.
I want to give you a present.
Just then, the master comes back with the pouch in his hand. Before he could say anything, his master starts to demonstrate something. He showed him how he murmured a spell and jiggled the pouch. And suddenly the bag was filled with gold coins. Simon was stupefied and numb. His master then handed him over that magical pouch. Simon, with his trembling hands, he said,
Master, I can't take this gift.
Master lightly pats on his shoulder and said,
Dear Simon, you earned it with your honesty and diligence. Use this whenever you need it.
Simon sighed in relief and he happily set out to go back to his home. Fred showed Simon his magical wooden ball and Simon his magical pouch. Then they finally set out back to their village. Through the woods, they find a nice cozy place under a huge tree where Fred turns his magical ball into a table. After they ate, they slept peacefully. A mugger saw everything from the branch above them. As soon as both the brothers were sound asleep, the mugger gets down from the branch and he steals the magical bag and the magical ball and runs away. Just as the sunlight dimmed, both the brothers woke up from their slumber, only to find that even their magical pouch and ball were stolen. They started cursing their stars and left. On the other hand, Peter bid his mistress and his dear animals goodbye and left for his home. Peter works in a sanctuary as a keeper. Peter was lost in his own world, humming and enjoying the cool evening breeze. Just then, he felt something near his feet, as if someone was pulling his breeches. Peter turned around to find a little tail wagging. It was a tiny puppy that was nibbling at his breeches and hanging from it. Peter felt pity for the small pup and took out a piece of bread and offered it to him. Peter took the dog with him and decided to name him Pearl. At a distance, he finds a man holding a pouch as if he was running away from something. He was coming towards Peter and just then, Pearl pounced on him. In the frenzy, the man left the pouch and ran away.
Oh no, Pearl, that's not right. What happened to you, huh? It seems like you are as naughty as me.
Peter picks up Pearl in his arms and he calls the man from behind.
Hey brother, I guess you left behind your things.
But the man was already far away. Well, who would not love things that come free? In this case, it was our very dear Peter, who always dreamt of getting some hidden treasure. As expected, Peter took the bag and found a ball inside it.
Oh wow, Pearl, look what we found. A ball. Okay, let's go and we all will play with it.
Saying that, Peter and Pearl reach home. Pearl jumps from his arms and starts running all around the house. Peter takes out that wooden ball and gently throws it towards him. Then he starts calling his parents out.
Mommy, Daddy, look, I came back home and see who I brought along with me.
Hearing his voice, his parents came to him and on seeing him, his mother affectionately said, "Oh my darling, I'm so happy to see you all together after so long. Oh, look how cute Pearl is. Okay, come inside. Let's have dinner together." As everyone sits down to have their supper, Pearl throws a wooden ball and it comes rolling towards Fred. As Fred picks up the ball, he starts wondering, and just then his father asked him,
Are you thinking something, Fred? Is there anything wrong with the ball? Dad, I think it's the same magical ball.
Meanwhile, Simon recognizes the pouch lying in front of him from before. He is overjoyed to see that pouch, so much so that he hugs Peter and he said,
Where did you find this bag? I'm so glad that for the first time in your life, you did an amazing job.
Peter gently pulls away from his hug and he says,
All right. But tell me first, why are you guys so elated to see my things? After all, I got these things from the woods.
It's then that Fred and Simon narrated the entire story to Peter and their parents about the magical ball and the magical pouch. Hearing the entire story, Peter and his parents were astounded. They all were elated and prayed to the Lord for such blessings. No explanation is needed when you have a magic ball and a magic pouch in your life. Your life is just like a bed of roses. If we continue to work diligently in this way, then no matter how tough the situation may arise in our lives, we can always overcome it. You will get your reward just like these two brothers got theirs.